It's not gonna help. It's not gonna help. Switch on. That's better. That's good. It's gonna be the panel. I don't know how to do this. We said the 8. There has to be the 9 spot, the 5 spot, and then the 4 spot. Oh man, it looks so bad. Let's try this one. I think. Why it be like that, bro? Why it be like that? I'm still trying to figure this shit out. This one. Nope. Anyways, we'll see how it goes. Fuck it. Okay. We're gonna have a couple videos here.
There's a difference between to the children of slaves, the children of those subject to the Middle Passage, the children of sharecroppers, the children of those who were once considered property, and giving citizenship to the children of people who crossed the border illegally, stay in taxpayer-funded luxury hotels. There's a big difference.
Black Americans are not going to be safer if Supreme Court uphold Trump executive order ending birthright citizenship. I understand a lot of you are listening to the rhetoric Trump and Republicans or conservatives are using under the guise of attacking birthright citizenship, but understand it is nothing but rhetoric, nothing but public relations. Trump and many conservatives have brought up the fact that the 14th Amendment was created post-Civil War as a means of giving the former enslaved population citizenship. However, framers of the 14th Amendment recognize it would not just only apply to the slaves and their descendants, it would apply to anyone born in the United States. Not only that, it's very important to understand the legal arguments these advocates for ending birthright citizenship are stating in their briefs that are going to the Supreme Court, where they are barely mentioning slaves, slavery, or Lincoln. For people that are saying, oh, 14th Amendment is only meant for...
It just lets you up here all crazy nostalgic. I gotta change that setting. I'll be forgetting. What's up, bro?
How you doing, bro?
Chilling. Can I get your race, your ethnicity, where you're from, please?
I'm from America. I'm actually biracial, but ethnically, I'm half Black American, half Ashkenazi Jewish.
Okay. Have we met?
It is possible. I've met a lot of people on these lives that come through when I'm bored, so probably.
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay, nostalgia. I'm gonna run through these clips for context of what I wanted to talk about, and then I'll have you address what you've heard. Okay.
Okay.
Just mute up for me for 1 quick seconds, and then I'll go through these real quick. It was just some videos I caught today. It caught my attention. Here, I'll do the first one.
Taxpayer-funded luxury hotel. But there's a difference between giving citizenship to the children of slaves, the children of those subject to the Middle Passage, the children of sharecroppers, and the children of those who were once considered property, and giving citizenship to the children of people who crossed the border illegally, stay in taxpayer-funded luxury hotels. There's a big difference.
Black Americans are not going to be safer if the Supreme Court uphold Trump executive order ending birthright citizenship. I understand a lot of you are listening to the rhetoric Trump and Republicans or conservatives are using under the guise of attacking birthright citizenship, but understand it is nothing but rhetoric, nothing but public relations. Trump and many conservatives have brought up the fact that the 14th Amendment was created post-Civil War as a means of giving the former enslaved population citizenship. However, framers of the 14th Amendment recognized it would not just only apply to the slaves and their descendants, it would apply to anyone born in the United States. Not only that, it's very important to understand the legal arguments these advocates for ending birthright citizenship are stating in their briefs. They're going to the Supreme Court, where they are barely mentioning slaves, slavery, or Lincoln. For people that are saying, oh, 14th Amendment is only meant for, slaves and their descendants, the fact that they are barely mentioning slaves, slavery, or Lincoln is very clear that it's just nothing but rhetoric they're using, and that's not actually the legal arguments they're trying to base their claim on. It is very important to understand that any arguments used to target the children of undocumented people or quote people who are in the United States illegally or on temporary visas can and will be used to target the descendants of slaves. Why, you may ask? Because sure, there was a legal slave trade happening, but there also was an illegal slave trade happening. So if you're saying because the parents were in the United States illegally that their child should not receive birthright citizenship, well, then that applies to likely millions of Black Americans as well. As in, there are millions of Black Americans whose ancestors were brought to the United States illegally. In the United States illegally, which means the argument of attacking them applies to descendants of slaves. Not only that, another argument being used is that these parents don't have an allegiance to the United States, so therefore, their child should not receive birthright citizenship. Well, guess what? As slaves, you do not have an allegiance to the United States. Why? Because you're a slave. You're a slave. Not only that, another argument being used to target these children is that because their parents came to the United States illegally or temporary visas, they're not domiciled in the United States. Well, guess what? As a slave, neither are you, because you can be bought and sold at any point in time. Any argument used to target children of undocumented people or temporary visas can and will be used to target children of descendants of slaves.
But there's a difference.
There we have it. There's one, and then the other one was this one.
Allegiance equals
Hold on.
that a child's parent can claim. You need to know.
The last one here.
Any argument used to target children of undocumented people or temporary visas can and will be used to target children of descendants of slaves.
Birthright citizenship oral arguments are done. Here's what you need to know. The government's entire case rests on one claim that buried inside Wong Kim Ark, the 1898 case that established birthright citizenship, there is a hidden requirement that a child's parents must be domiciled in the United States. Domiciled meaning lawfully present with intent to stay permanently. From there, they build a chain. Domicile equals allegiance. Allegiance equals jurisdiction. Jurisdiction equals the 14th Amendment. 14th Amendment equals citizenship. No domicile? When pressed about enslaved people smuggled in after the transatlantic slave trade, people with no lawful entry, the government's attorney fumbled badly. When the attorney brought up birth tourism operations in China, Chief Justice Roberts shut it down immediately, not relevant to this case. The most powerful moment came from the 1866 congressional debates. Lawmakers knew exactly what they were passing. They knew it meant anyone born on U.S. soil becomes a citizen. They passed it anyway. And every branch of government has interpreted it that way for 150 years. The government is asking the Supreme Court to find a hidden requirement that has never existed in a century and a half of case law, built on Roman law citations. I don't see it happening. Birthright citizenship is here to stay. But there's a...
Okay, there we have it. There we have it. Nostalgia.
You're a little low, by the way.
Oh, was I like volume?
I heard the clips
volume
well.
wise.
You're a little, yeah.
Okay, my bad.
Okay. That's better.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry about that.
Oh, good. Okay.
Maybe that's why.
You still with us? Yeah. Hello?
That's weird. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Wow, that's weird. Were you able to hear the arguments,
Yes.
Nostalgia? Oh, okay, good, good. I was like, no. Okay, so what do you think, man? Give me your first thoughts on what you've seen so far about this. For
Okay. So, and like I said, and I told you I was, ethnically Black American through my mother's side, and but uh, the birthright citizenship is very, it's something to give us all pause and extreme caution and concern. And I think just given the whole context of what I'm seeing on your prompt, um, I think I've seen a lot of rhetoric from Black Americans, who are calling themselves FBA, uh, that birthright citizenship is going to be their great savior and preventing their so-called erasure or replacement by Black immigrants. And this is, of course, the subsection of FBAs that isn't arguing that they're indigenous people. So, and I here's my thing, right? Here's my take: is that um, we the thing with this birthright citizenship, it is yet another example of how far these right-wing extremists are willing to go to literally dismantle everything, all of the little teeny tiny wins that Black Americans have actually had in this country and other people of color. They're willing to dismantle all of it. So to assume that any of it isn't your interest by saying, oh, they're gonna deport these tethers, as like they like to call them, to assume that that's in your interest or in your community's interest, that's stupid. That's dumb. These people have never been in your interests. They disproportionately lobby for policies and communities and movements and militant groups that attack Black and brown people constantly. To say that this president is going to be the great Black hope of FBAs is nonsense and anti-intellectual. I think the rise in conservatism is why this FBA thing has been allowed to grow so much. And you have people like Tariq Nasheed who took advantage and capitalized off of the growing amount of nationalism that's in response to this rise of conservatism, right? Because when conservatism rises, Black and brown people become endangered. And so the easiest way to respond to that is by attacking other ethnic groups that are more endangered by this era of conservatism. So immigrants who are Black, so Haitians and literally Haitians in my state right now are being attacked. You know what I'm saying? And then you got just literally anybody who's not ethnically American. And the first thing I literally thought of, without hearing all of that context, which, thank you for playing it, the first thing I thought about immediately is the fact that if these people are willing to create new addendums and policies that target immigrants, the next group of people that they're going to come after is the descendants of slaves. That's literally what it is. If they can successfully get away with targeting immigrants, Black and brown immigrants, the next group they are always going to go after is Black Americans. Your American exceptionalism has never in this country applied to Black Americans. I don't know why people think that is now, that the benefit and the privilege of American exceptionalism now applies to Black Americans when there's no evidence in history that Black Americans have ever shared in that privilege. I think this whole thing is just a trauma response to how the pressure and the prejudice of being a Black or brown immigrant, the history and the status of it is different. Like, I think we're seeing a response to, the rise in Black immigrants and their success stories in this country. And, I tell people all the time, that Haitian American, that Nigerian American, that, these Ghanaian Americans, their story, it isn't better or worse than yours. They have to be an immigrant in this country, which is hellish. And you have your own story. You're a Black American whose people have been redlined and gerrymandered and every crimes against humanity of every type since you were here. All of these groups are affected by this great hydra, this great kaleidoscope of complex prejudice and discrimination and crimes against humanity. But unfortunately, people can't see the big picture. And that's why you have all these movements like FBA. And so, like I say, I think the birthright citizenship being used as like a weapon against, oh, this is, my nationalism is legitimized. My nationalism and xenophobia is greenlit by this new action. Dude, these people don't care about the Black American community. They never have, never will. They don't, for centuries, um, and actually, I would say overseas for decades, for literal decades overseas, American and Western media showed Black Americans not as Americans. And that is why when you go to other countries, people who see Western media and who have been seeing Western media for decades, if you tell them you're Black American, they're just going to say, no, 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 no. An American is white. An American is white. You know? I don't know. It's very depressing. That's my answer to all of it. But thank you for sharing those clips. I've never heard them before, but I think the notion that birthright citizenship is going to protect Black Americans rather than disproportionately target them after immigrant groups have been targeted, that's obviously anti-intellectual, right? That's not
Right.
critical thinking where it needs to be. That's my answer.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that. That was very insightful as well. I think I can agree with you about how like the divide and conquer, like it's always happened. So there's just like literally just pitting us against one another when they're asking for certain groups, or when they're when they're reinterpreting or questioning like these amendments, that are already in the Constitution. I think the only reason why they're doing it so they can create new amendments, to trample on more rights and to create this who belongs here and who doesn't, this whole heritage American, the foundation Americans. And
Yes.
so when we're talking about the American exceptionalism, the patriotism, or the racism masked as patriotism, that's what we're looking at, and even for Black Americans to try to reinterpret this, even though it was created in the form of free enslaved African Americans, it was also a way to let in the white tea people and all these other groups. You know what I mean? So when they tried to, and what I mean by the FBA, when they say we the 14th Amendment was for us, and you guys should be happy because we let you guys come here through the 14th Amendment, not realizing that the white tea man, you guys maybe had been boots on the ground, but he had legislated it, and he did it not in your best interest, So, uh, so thank you. It reminds me of that when I heard what you said, and let's think about the way they're gonna use, after they do this, who are they to narrow the scope about who belongs and who doesn't? When people lose their citizenship, does that help Black Americans? Does it help like if surveillance boosts up, with AI, and they create these databases and create like more policing? You think that's going to help us in any kind of way? When they deny, they'll still be able to deny housing, jobs, voting access. They'll still be able to affect the healthcare system. And I do want you to listen to this other clip about this brother that breaks down everything that the Republican Party is gonna take off for funding in Black communities. And these are the things the brothers and sisters don't read. They're only so focused on kicking out immigrants and Black immigrants and Mexicans that they not focus on what's going to be taken from them. I'm not for either or, but obviously we see the less of two evils, if I could say that, because I still think they're both evil in the sense of working elites, and how they pit us against one another. If it's not the Republicans and Democrats, it's the Bloods and Crips. If it's not that, it's the baseball teams and the football teams. But no, I was gonna say, I just don't feel like I feel like you can make somebody a citizen on paper and still govern them like like a managed population, is what I was trying to say with that. They can still strip your, like you said, who's the next one to be after they get rid of this? Who's going to be the targeted group? And of course, Black Americans. But when they hear that, they hear, oh, you can be next, and they don't like to hear that because they in their hearts feel like they can't be deported. That's the one thing they throw back at Black immigrants' faces when Black immigrants tell them that you'll be next. With whether it be ICE or any of that, that's what they push back on. And so they see that as a kind of like got you moment, but they're doubling down and saying, you just watch how we won't get deported. But yeah, you're right. You won't get deported. You will be detained. We already had a Black American that was unalive by an ICE agent, And so when they're having these ICE detention centers in America and outside of America, to detain people, who's to say that they're not going to come to criminalize Black people afterwards and make people, you don't even have to be a citizen to get put in one of these detention centers. What's going to happen then? And so that's why I always like to remind people about the 13th Amendment, how slavery never really ended. We have modern slavery to this day. If they criminalize, the 13th Amendment abolished slavery, but they had an exception. And the exception is if they're able to try you or make you commit a crime. If they can ever charge you with a crime, they can re-enslave you, and that's called the prison system. That's their modern day plantation. So, and we already know what with the vagrancy laws, the black codes, the Jim Crow. We already know how easily they can criminalize our behavior. So, you're so caught up on the 14th Amendment and birthrights that you forgot about the 13th Amendment. So I like to have my brothers and sisters reread some of these amendments to see what's already on paper, But I'm long-winded now.
Yeah.
You can respond to that, no gas, or what did I say, no gas, nostalgia, or while I pull up this clip, okay? Because I want you to hear what funding is going to be taken away by the
and
Republican Party.
my larger take,
Go ahead.
because I mean, I like your approach to this whole thing. Do I think they would do it, or do I think they would talk about it or try to do it, like actually deport or do something else to Black Americans? Yes, because every other listed historical crime against crime against humanities, they've already committed them on Black Americans. So I think they would try. Do I think they'd be successful? No. But from the perspective of the FBA nonsense, I think that reminding these Black Americans that they should not be comfortable. You are not comfortable enough as a people, as a community on this land to say, I'm good. These people need to get out, right? You are not that safe. You are not that protected. You're just not, like hate crime still exists. There are literally so many different, there's literally undocumented towns all across the United States, small rural towns, especially in the South, towns that are so small that district maps and zoning graphs don't even have them. And truck drivers who are Black and brown go missing in the hundreds every year in these towns because they still have Jim Crow laws in effect. And so when you have things like that happening and you think that you're so protected that this can't happen to you still, you've become disillusioned, And like I said earlier, I think this is also a response. It's a little bit of an ethnic community response to, I would say, the differences in how immigrant groups succeed in race-based capitalism, right? You have African immigrants coming over here, and because of the literal pressures of being both Black and immigrants in this country, they are held to a pressure that I would say most Black Americans could not fathom. And then you have countries like Nigeria that send professionals over here. They get a monopoly somewhat in the industry, and then they encourage others to come. And I tell Black Americans all the time, like, actually, I find it inspiring when I see, African Americans, not Black Americans, but African American immigrants come over here who are the descendants, who are first gen, second gen children of African immigrants, and they are successful. And despite the pressure, despite the racism, I find it inspiring. I do. I see them as a template for Black Americans to push through the systemic disparities and just really try to grasp what should be yours. But instead, when I say that, they're like, no, 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 no. You're just ashamed of your culture and our people, and they're taking our, they're taking the rights, they're taking the money that we fought for. And it's like, dude, no, they're not, right? What they're doing is they're benefiting from something that you fought for, but you should also be trying to capitalize off of, man. You know what I'm saying? If you see a Black immigrant being successful, you being jealous and projecting on them, that's not something you should be doing. How did you get that? You know what I'm saying? Like, our ancestors in the civil rights movement, they did not give a damn about ethnicity. Malcolm or any of them, none of them mentioned ethnic groups at all, right? Back then, nobody cared about ethnic groups. If you were Black, you were Black. That's just what it is. And Malcolm X was a mixed man, right? He was like me, he's a mixed man. And Black was Black. They had the one drop rule. If you phenotypically presented as a Black man, you were going to get a racist experience in America. They did not care about your ethnic background. They just saw you as a colored person, a Negro. So, you know what I'm saying? These people coming over here and benefiting from the rights that our ancestors fought for. That's what you should be doing too, trying to benefit as much as possible. I don't know. It's just very frustrating.
No, I agree with you. And Black Americans have a lot. When you when you hear them talk, the achievements, obviously the achievements that have been taken away. I mean, or the towns, things that Black Americans made for themselves. Like Black Wall Street, and so on and so forth, right? But even now, when we see the wealth of Black Americans, when we see when they claim that they have everything, they don't need no help, they don't need no government handouts. A lot of these FBA say that. I'm not going to speak for all African Americans, because some African Americans are that they know that the government should be helping in a lot of different respects, and that's what government's for. It's not always that you need a handout or that we're taking advantage of the government. We can't be taking more advantage than white tea people at this at this time when they cut funds and take it for them. But I did want to address what you kind of said about them. Oh yeah, like looking down on Black Americans for getting these handouts, and they'll say like they get certain loans, but they never talk about the eligibility. The eligibility, it's open for Black Americans as well. There's a lot of them out there for them.
Exactly.
Now, when we're talking about school, when we're talking about school and what these scholarships or grants are for, it's up to the people writing those grants who they allow in and who not. You don't get to decide how they write those grants or who they say it's eligible for those grants. So that's kind of I don't know, that I think that's a dig. But again, the nostalgia. This all comes from this rhetoric, like the FBA rhetoric comes from Tariq Nasheed rhetoric, and Tariq Nasheed is in cahoots with now in the media, with Tucker Carlson and Ann Coulter and all these heritage, all these white nationalists,
I saw a video saying that Tariq Nasheed was being paid directly by members of the Heritage Foundation. I don't think it's a coincidence that
a conspiracy
called Foundational Black American, and he has ties to the group that we all know is a white elite supremacist group called the Heritage Foundation. So that's not a coincidence at all.
And it's these people, if you look into it more with the ADOS and all this, they were in certain groups as well that supported anti-immigrant groups that funded stuff like that. So I forget all the names, man. This guy gave me a file to look into with Yvette Cardinell and how she got a lot of the philosophy from anti-immigrant groups. I forget those two names, but I got to go back. I'll probably shoot you something so you can see. But it's just more and more of how they're entrenched in that white nationalist heritage kind of mindset, and I think that's what has always pitted Americans versus non-Americans. Yeah.
I know I tell people all the time, you got to remember sometimes that, like, even though progressive sentiments on paper are better for the Black community, you have to remember that Black Americans as an ethnic group are largely in majority, a very hyper conservative group, right? Like, Black Americans historically are very extremely conservative, right? Now it's just their interests, obviously. It's taken progressives to come out with like revolutionary, progressives align with the most revolutionary anti-racist movements historically, but just as a community, you know what I'm saying? Black Americans are not very supportive of, anything progressive outside of their racialized fight. So things like, it's not really surprising that they would be,
I see what you're saying.
anti-immigrant,
Yeah.
you
That
know?
it kind of aligns with that, especially
Yeah.
when all they say bad is like they just look down on the Democrat, or,
Yes.
or these liberal progressive values, or what we would call. And that's why I hate the two-party system, because it's so like one way or the other. And I feel that w- um a lot of that rhetoric right now is like, it just makes their numbers dwindle, because they are separating themselves from other Black American, African Americans that that don't jive with all that as well. That no, they understand conservative values, but they don't understand how you're a MAGA.
Yeah.
you know,
I exactly.
and
That's what I'm saying. Like, when it comes to the larger community perspective, you know
yeah,
what I'm saying? The interests have always leaned, you know,
a
slightly
conservative.
towards left. But once
Oh,
you actually get into the community and families and their infrastructure of the Black American, like, you know, how they
that's true.
socialize and their dynamics, they're really, really, really conservative. And they still are to this day. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can have a group that disproportionately voted against Trump, but once you get into their community and see their dynamics and their enterprises, you will hear the same rhetoric that you
Yeah.
hear from Trump supporters.
Hmm.
So,
And their local politics. Yeah, most
oh
definitely.
God, yeah, local politics, absolutely. You know what I'm saying? They elevate even HBCUs. I'm telling you, you would think that would be um like a wave of progressive sentiment, but once you go to HBCUs, you'll see the pipelines of how professors kind of lean into more conservative values. Uh, Yeah, it's just very ironic and kind of just
Yep.
anti-progress. Ugh,
Right.
I don't know.
Do you
I hate it. I do. I hate this
do
whole
you think
FBA.
that's like the part of them just being so in close proximity to these how do I say it, to because I mean, we got off the plantations, right? We got we got into our own schools, but we stayed in their same states. We stayed in the same colony.
Yeah.
We both cheer for the same football teams, college and
Well,
in the NFL.
I
What do you
mean,
think?
think
What
about
do you
it.
think that is about? Yeah.
Well, like, and when I talk to immigrants who have been, attacked or just screamed at by these FBAs, and they're asking me like, what the hell is it? Even as a biracial dude, can you tell me? And I can, I tell them all the time, this is not to excuse their crap behavior, but you got to remember that Black Americans, the only model of civilization they had after having their cultural connections to Africa and their entire identity genocided out of them, because of slavery, the only
Mhm.
the only community they had as a template for growth and identity were white Americans. You know what I'm saying? The indigenous by then were already marched into forced into reservations,
Reservations,
left on a
yeah.
lot. So, like I say, only small sections of Black people were really kind of in proximity to the indigenous people, but like the first and only closest group of people that Black Americans have really been in proximity to all this time were white people. So we, picked up their religion, their policies, their politics, their way of thinking, how they do their infrastructure. You know what I'm saying? It's a very symbiotic relationship. It's like a toxic ex you just can't stop talking to. You know,
Right.
it is.
And almost like a form of them pitting themselves against each other, because they're always trying to, see who can be the best
Oh my goodness.
The best athlete per se, right?
Yeah.
And we can see this in politics too, right? This competition within that, and then what we get nostalgia. We get the biracials, right? We get the triracials, we get the monoracials, and then we have this race dynamic, and not to, I know you're biracial too, but I'm just saying, like, of this hierarchy, within that,
Yeah. The whole
I
white
think
mom,
football is
black mom nonsense.
right. Oh yeah, that's a perfect example. Yeah, and who gets to decide which who's more authentically black? Because now they, and and we got to understand that the 20 to 30 to 40% of white T blood in African Americans, and how they uphold that, even though it's not always seen, but they uphold the white T one, way
Man,
more than they would ever do to a black immigrant,
let me tell you
or
something.
say
You know how
or
ironic it is for me to be on an FBA panel? They'll attack me until I told them my mom was black and my dad was white, right? They always assume the opposite. And it's like they'll attack me for being biracial and being of, literally, I think I'm almost at literally 50-50 in my ancestry, but I'm black presenting. And so, like, they'll hyper interrogate me for my pro blackness. But as soon as an African immigrant comes on the panel, they'll go back to claiming that same European ancestry that they demonized me for, right? They'll be like, well, they'll be colorist and texturist against these Africans and these Caribbeans.
wait, nostalgia. Hold that thought. I really want to dive into this. Hold on. I got a call right now. Give me a second. Give me a second. Okay. Okay. Go on. You run that one back for me, because I have a perfect prop for this too.
Okay, bro. So I am like, if I'm,
When you talk to FBAs, you were
yeah,
saying
if
versus
I'm
Black
talking,
American or something. Yeah.
yes, if I'm
Go ahead.
talking to
Sorry. Okay,
FBAs as a biracial man, right? And it's like, okay, so I might have 25 plus more ancestry of European than them, right? And so, like, I have European and North African ancestry as somebody who's Ashkenazi Jewish. And so, um, they'll hyper interrogate me for being biracial in terms of, oh, how pro black is he? But as soon as an African comes on the panel, these same FBAs that hyper interrogated me for being, European, they'll claim that same admixture they have, be like, oh, well, you're an African booty scratcher, you're dark skinned, we don't look anything like y'all because, you know what I'm saying? I'm 15% European, and that makes me look better than you. And I'm like, dude, you just told me that I'm not pro black and I can't be trusted because I'm half European. So what is it? So irritating.
That's hilarious. And yeah,
Bro.
they really boast about this unique lineage. And when you ask them about it, this European lineage, it's the Aboriginal Native American lineage, and lastly, their African lineage that I always have to remind them about, because they always like
Oh my
to
God, bro.
delineate from that lineage.
I did my ancestry. I don't even have 1% indigenous ancestry in me at all. Oh, and they hate hearing me say that. Like, when I told them, I said, yeah, I'm Black American by lineage. Well, you're FBA lineage, so, and you know that we have indigenous. And I'm like, no, who the fuck is we? I don't have any indigenous ancestry, right? My ancestry comes from Africa, like mostly West and Central African lineage, right? Sure, on ancestry and all that stuff, it tells me that I am African American, and it shows the migration of my family from the South during the Great Migration. We went, you know what I'm saying? Some of my family went west, and most of them went north. And it shows that I'm African American, but at the same time, it shows my African ancestry very clearly. And most of my actually ancestry comes from the Nigerian area. and I claim that ancestry proudly. I'm proud of it. You're not going to convince me to hate being African. That's nonsense, bro. That's ridiculous. If anything, I'm
Yeah.
ashamed of, you know, I know the part of European in me that I know comes from slavery, right? It's not just from my parentage, from having, white parentage and half white ancestry. And, but I know some of that comes from slavery. And yeah, I'm not the proudest of that, but I am proud of my African ancestry, very much so.
Right. And so exactly. So thank you for that insight. And yeah, it's like no one's saying you can't have Native American or American Indian ancestry. It's when you try to erase a whole other group of people that
Exactly.
have it,
We the real indigenous. Shut up,
Yeah.
bro. You look
And
just
these guys are the Siberians and the Mexicans are the Siberians as well. They're all Asian and melanation all over the globe, all over the planet. There's
back in the
empowerment with
2000s.
melanin, but we can't just erase groups of people.
Back in the 2000s, it was that we're Egyptian, we're the Anunnaki. It's something every fucking decade, bro.
Yeah, we the carbon, brother.
But
All
this,
right,
that,
we got a whole roster of panel now. All of a sudden, now that we put this biracial one up, you see nostalgia.
Oh yeah, here they come. I might need to leave because it gets real intense.
let's not guess. Let's introduce. Let's go with I think it was user first, then Quams, and then Damon. User, go ahead. Give me your race, your ethnicity, where you're from, and she's out of here. Go ahead, Quams. Give me your race, your ethnicity, where you're from.
I'll come back. Just skip me. I'll come back.
Okay. All right, Damien, go ahead. We had another prompt up. We just have this one up because we were touching on this a little bit. But if you, I don't know which one you came on.
What was the prompt again? You wanted me to say?
So
to introduce myself?
I had two of them. Oh, your race, your ethnicity, and where you're from.
Okay, I'm from Ohio. I'm black. And what was the other one?
Ethnicity, brother. Ethnicity.
Black.
So black and black. Blackity black.
Basically.
Would you say black American or would you say black immigrant?
Hell no, I ain't no immigrant. I'm a descendant of chattel slavery. I just say black. My ID say black.
You a FBA? You a FBA?
I don't really follow all FBA shit for real.
All right. So let's just stick it to black American, okay? All right, go ahead, Dion.
No, African American. I'll go with that.
Okay, great. That's even better. Even better, brother. Do you want to speak on this prompt or the other prompt? Which one do you want to speak on?
I didn't see the other prompt. I was actually gonna listen in to kind of see what y'all.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. Hang in there, and then we'll bring you up. Or if you want to touch on something, we'll get you back in the rotation. All right, let's go with homegirl. She keeps sliding in and out, but I had seen her on the other panel. I don't know what to call you up top though. On the top box.
No, you can just call me Peace.
All right, peace. Salam. Can I get your race, your ethnicity, where you're from?
Yeah, I'm black. I'm Caribbean.
Okay. Welcome to the panel. And can I get your thoughts on the prompt?
Can biracials be FBA? I mean, if they had that parent, yeah, I guess so.
So if they got, so which one though, because in the black community that it depends what parent it is, or is that how it is? Is that how it goes in the Caribbean too? If you black,
I don't know about if you certain parent. I mean, if you have a black parent and you phenotypically present as black, you consider black.
Okay. Well, you have a general understanding of, I believe what we all do, as black people from the diaspora. But I think black Americans or African Americans, the monoracial ones that look at a biracial experience, they look at if your mother's black, you are black, but if your father's black, I think they had the presenting aspect of it as well to be true. But there's some kind of there's some kind of thing about being from your mother, being from your mother's room that makes you that way in their head, you know. But in this case, we're talking about FBAs, right? The FBAs have a very particular, very detailed way of how they want to see black people. So I think it's more geared to them of what I'm asking here, because they like to boast how black they are, but they and how white they are, right? But there's always some kind of because some FBAs say that biracials can't be FBAs, some others say they can. They're always very flip floppy about this, you know what I mean? So that's why I'm asking the question, just for those that don't know. I had another prompt up here. I can put it up real quick about the 14th Amendment and how they're looking at birthright citizenship and who belongs here and who doesn't. They're trying to redefine it, right? They're trying to redefine who is considered a citizen and who's not. So, they're going back in time, to try to see and Donald Trump is the one that wants to do this. So I wanted to play a quick video, guys, about this brother that was talking about all the things that the Republican Party, all the things that they're going to unfund, that they're not funding anymore. Okay. And I want you guys to hear this because I thought it was really important.
Black farmers are big. Oh, you're just become a motherfucking super fan. Come on. Yes, come on. Let's do that. I want to share this with y'all and then penance out at y'all, Becky. I'm going to go back through these goddamn numbers for you foundational black aristocrats who seem to think black folk gonna isolate and get something accomplished. This is what the white folk up in DC trying to cut from us right now. Let me pull this shit up. Because for some reason, man, y'all just don't get it. These people do not understand that it's an agenda being worked outside, and y'all on this bitch chasing Jamaicans down, trying to fight with them over jerk chicken recipes or whatever the fuck y'all want to do. $45 million in cuts to renewable energy and development programs, $1.7 billion in cuts to grants for local law enforcement, public safety, $20 million in cuts to civil rights, mediation, and legal access programs, black folk, $1.6 billion in cuts for job training for at-risk youth, black folk, $659 million in cuts to community building grants, black folk, $47 million in cuts to support minority-owned businesses, black folk, $449 million in cuts to economic development grants for minority communities, black folk, $1.6 billion in weather cuts for weather forecasting, fisheries, and coastal protections. If you know anything about black communities, most of the black communities are in low-lying areas of the city, so they are disproportionately impacted by floods. So the black people in flood zones won't have any sort of warning systems to let them know to get the fuck out those flood zones, i.e. Hurricane Katrina, New Orleans. But y'all don't care about that. Y'all just care about Jamaicans and Mexicans and whatever new tacos they trying to introduce that you don't like. You Negroes are misguided. $449 million in cuts to housing and services for Native American communities, basically black folk. $50 million in cuts to grants to help communities build more housing, black folk. $60 million in cuts to enforcement of fair housing and anti-discrimination laws, black folk. $58 million in cuts to home buyer and renter counseling services, that's black folk. $5 billion in cuts to medical research, black folk. $129 million in cuts to healthcare quality and safety research, black folk. $356 million in cuts to emergency preparedness and disaster relief response. $1.3 billion in FEMA community disaster and preparedness grants. $1.1 billion in scientific research and funding. $386 million in environmental cleanup programs, black folk. $150 million in cuts to cutting-edge clean energy research, $4 billion in cuts to help paying home heating and cooling bills for low-income families, disproportionately black people, $707 million in cuts to cybersecurity for critical infrastructure, $52 million in cuts to airport and transportation security, $40 million in cuts to protection against chemical and biological weapons threats, $53 million in cuts to fund homeland security operations. I'm almost done, about 3 more slides. $768 million in cuts to refugee resettlement assistance, basically black folk. $819 million in cuts to care and shelter for migrant children, basically black folk. $775 million in cuts to local anti-poverty programs, black folk. $5 billion in cuts to public health programs, mental health services, and disease prevention, as black folk.
$3.3 billion in cuts to community development block grants for local neighborhoods, black folk. $1.3 billion in cuts to affordable housing construction grants, black folk. $393 million in cuts to programs to reduce homelessness. $529 million in cuts to housing assistance for people living with what Magic Johnson has, disproportionately black folk. $395 million in cuts to jobs programs for low-income seniors, black folk. $234 million in cuts to worker safety and labor protection programs. $101 million in cuts to enforcement of equal pay and workplace anti-discrimination laws as black people. $46 million in cuts to programs to combat child labor and forced labor abroad. $1.5 billion in cuts, black. $2.7 billion in cuts to college access and higher education support, black people. $15.2 billion in cuts to roads, bridges, infrastructure projects. $1.1 billion in home energy efficiency and clean energy program. That's what Trump trying to cut right now. But y'all run around this motherfucker talking about some ADOS and FBA, and the white people with the pen in their hand just chopping away at black America. They fired 1.5 million black people already. I don't know what else they have to do to make you Negroes realize it's a black and white issue. It ain't a black and brown problem. Yet y'all want to continue to make it out to be a black and brown problem. Just bypass, just look right beyond the YT people that's destroying you, destroying your communities, destroying your job opportunities. White folk taking it from you and looking you right in your face and saying, stop being concerned with race. Stop blaming us, the white people, even though we have everything in our hand that we just took from you. You should go fight with black immigrants or brown people. Y'all sick and dumb as hell on this motherfucking hell. It ain't much a nigga can tell y'all. Y'all stupid. Everything our grandparents went outside and fought for, y'all risking that shit. Y'all gambling it away. They want to pick up the mantle and continue to fight against this dominant white system the way our parents and grandparents fought against this dominant white system. You don't get to weasel your motherfucking way out this fight.
Spam. Okay. Everybody's still up. Everybody left.
Yeah,
Oh no. Peace
I'm
is still
listening.
here. Okay, cool, Peace. You heard it. What do you think, Peace?
Well,
What do you think about all those programs being cut?
it's very unfortunate, I will say. I'm not really surprised because, they've been doing that. They've been, putting stuff in place to disenfranchise minorities. So, it's nothing new. It's not surprising, unfortunately.
Right, sister. So when we haven't when we haven't prompts up like why some Hispanics are saying the N-word and if black immigrants are cosplaying black Americans, how is it helping? How are those discussions helping of what's really happening?
We can start with the first one. It's helping because let's talk about the anti-blackness. Anti-blackness is harmful, not just verbally, physically also. You don't believe
Of,
anti-blackness is
of
harmful?
course, but right now when the tensions are high, like about some like what why we can say white tea people, we can say they created the word and we misappropriated it from them, and they can tell us the same thing. Why are you misappropriating our word? That's our word. That's what we called y'all. But I mean, with going back and forth, and that's a joke, right? But I don't feel like policing people about what they can say or what they cannot say. If you can prove a hate crime has happened because of what somebody told you, you can file against them. You could take them to jail over a hate crime. You can't take nobody to jail over them calling you a wetback or an illegal, right? When people call someone illegal, that's dehumanizing language, even though
You don't see
it's
the
like calling someone a
contradiction?
slave.
You don't see the contradiction there? If
What's the
if you
mhm.
notice that the tension is quote unquote so high, even though the tension's been high, this is with whites. people. The colonizers been colonizing. That's nothing new. But yes, if the tension's so high and we should come together, but we have
Mhm.
groups of people being anti-black and being excused for their anti-black because they're a minority, how can we come together? You can't come together with people who has anti-blackness. It doesn't work like that.
But you had people on there. You had like Afro Latinos. You had people within the community speaking about those communities, how they were raised, how they saw other people in their family using it. How you saw how they were saying how it was more appreciation and being a part of something more than being dehumanizing. And I admitted that there obviously got to hash these things out, but I think you guys were up there just policing people and wanting to tell people to stop saying it. I'm saying by having those discussions, you might be able to educate people about it, but the people that are the ones that are doing it for for the dehumanization reasons, those people you're just gonna give them like gas to fire. You feel me? And telling them not to, you're gonna get them to say it even more and talk some more shit. That's why I just don't see the
Yeah, that
I
proves
just
my
don't
point,
see
though.
the.
They doing that. This is my point, and this is my thing. Is I never said all. It's some, and this is my thing. Why would I want to come together with people who can't even respect my people? This anti-blackness is not just about the N word. Do do you not know how they treat Afro Hispanics? Like it's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
just N word. It's not just
No,
that. It's
of
deeper
course.
than that.
Of course. Yeah, I'm Afro Mexican myself. I know. I
So
know.
you should know that.
So
You should know.
yeah, yeah. So, but again, we can't generalize those people you come face to face and you have problems with. You can't generalize the whole community behind that. And I saw that you had some on there, but it's it's still like I'm just telling you I'm just like looking at different stuff. And I have other groups, I have other Black Americans that be harping on that, and they're trying to like I just don't see the positivity. I mean, you're obviously not going to get the positivity in it. And if you're doing it out of a good heart, I can see that. But if you're just doing it so you can expose the Hispanic racist Latino, I mean, we already know they're out there. We already know they make up more of the percentage, and they influence more of the culture by that rhetoric, by that mejorar la raza, or the el blancamiento de la raza too, all that stuff. It's all real seated indoctrination, that even some people of color carry. But it's no different than what Black Americans are going through here with the white tea thing. And that's why I had that biracial prompt up, because they don't see all the inferiority complex that they have in their head, because they and then how they treat immigrants and all that really comes from this white tea perspective. But they don't see all that. They don't want to see all that. They just want to see them as they want to see them like brothers and sisters, but treat Black immigrants like shit, treat Mexicans like shit. So it works both ways.
They're no better also. They're no better. And that's the point. You let people come up and expose how they truly feel. I mean, they don't speak for the whole Black American community. Those racist Hispanics don't speak for the rest of Hispanics. But they're
All
still
right.
there though. And it still needs to be addressed.
I understand that. I get that. I don't. I hear you. I see your heart. I think it was just your other friend that pissed me off. Anyways, it's all good. It's all gravy, piece. It's all gravy. Where are you in America? Or are you back?
I'm in the Carolinas. I was in Louisiana visiting my family, but I'm back in the Carolinas.
Okay. Is that where the accent comes from? Carolinas? Or is that a Caribbean accent? I can't tell.
I said Caribbean, like Carolinas, I don't think, no, they don't talk like this. Carolinas, they got more like a southern accent.
I got you. I got you. Well, you kind of got a little twang. I'm not gonna lie. But I don't know my southern accents like that. I sound like a full fledged white man to some.
Yeah, you do sound like uncle. That's what
Americano,
I thought.
americano.
That's why I thought you was a white man at first. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
I
what?
get it. I get it all the
Yeah,
time. I get it all the
yeah.
time.
Because I was kind of confused. I'm like, why do a white man care about fucking black Americans, FBA and shit? I just thought you was a white man who fucking
It's
got
a,
into this whole Oscar beef.
oh, believe me, I get it all the time. I don't have enough bass in my voice. I ain't got the cadence. But then, it's so funny because they'll be like, well, you stop cosplaying black people. You trying to sound like us. So like, you can't never, they can't never make up their mind. But no, I didn't know how to speak English until I got to high school, actually. I know Spanish. Spanish is my language, my first language.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, nothing wrong with that. People learn at a different level. I would say like my best. I learned best freely, like just being around like black people and shit. Now,
Mm-hmm.
I being now, I would say like black people in Louisiana, no, it's a whole different language down there. I don't. They talk too fast. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
But black people like the deep south and stuff. That's how I truly learned from the
Mm-hmm.
accents.
Right, right. Yeah, so I'm kind of like closer to the Bay Area, so I mean we have different accents out here as well, but we're a little more like we do say brother, what's good, brother? You know, but we say it like kind of mocking the white way, but we use it regularly. And then we got educated Negroes, we got country Negroes as well. So this is how I always put it: like there's so much diversity in America, Black American diversity, or AAVE or Ebonics, whatever you want to call it. That there's not one way, there's not one cadence that we can say this is the way to talk. This is how Black folk talk. So it's a good reminder about how there's not like a standard way. So I hate when people look at other people and if you don't speak this way, you're not this. And Black Americans remind each other every day they're not the same, or African Americans. So we have to really look at that and see the diversity in it and love the diversity, and not just claim one. And if you sound like, because we get a lot of Black Americans as well that sound a little like they code switch, or they grew up in suburbia, and they say like this, like that, and oh my God, you know, and they have that valley talk. But it's just how they grew up. It's not really. There's some that fucking do it because they don't want to be black. They don't want a black accent. Like, I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about people that just grew up in an environment where that was the dominant language, that was the dominant style, the dominant accent.
Yeah, I
So
feel like
that's
it's all
how
about
that's how I was flipped. Sorry, sister. What'd you say?
Yeah, I would disagree. I feel like it's proximity because I feel like if you like grow up somewhere like Cali, whatever, Cali is so diverse. You can meet Mexicans, Cubans, Dominican, you name it. It's diverse. So you have all types of accents and stuff. You go to New York, me personally, I love going to New York and shit. You go down to Bronx and stuff, mostly Spanish speaking people. You go to different parts, you got the Jamaicans and that. So I mean, it's diverse. So it all depends and shit. I mean, like here in the Carolinas, it's not really diverse. It's mostly Black Americans. You got a couple Africans, but it's not really a big percentage, in my opinion. In my area, I would say. So it all depends.
hmm Do you speak a different? Do you speak a? Are you bilingual in a different language?
Yes, I'm trying to learn. I want to learn like how to speak in German because I feel like it's such a, you know, lovely place. I love
Oh
Germany.
yeah.
I love Germany. I'm trying to,
Yeah,
try
no
to
hate,
connect.
no hate. I was just saying, like, you got to find yourself a German man. Yeah, is Germany one of the Latin languages? No, it's not one of the Romance languages, is it? I don't think.
It's not even about like trying to find a man and stuff. Like, my father, his people come from there. Well, his grandparents and stuff. And I always was curious about it, but you know.
No, that makes sense. I'm not saying you gotta. It's not to find a man. I'm just like, I don't know how to put it. I mean, do you just like the frequency it gives off, or like the cadence, or just because it's like your grandparents and stuff like that? You curious.
Yeah, I'm just like really curious because don't get me wrong, like I done I done talked to a lot of people and stuff because I'm very open like in meeting new people, and I would say one group I just can't understand is like I love my Cubans, but they talk so different. Like their Spanish is so different. Like I truly don't understand them.
Yeah.
Well, let me be exact. Cubans in Florida, I don't understand them. I don't.
Hmm.
I truly don't. That's why I
Maybe
feel like that's
Cubans.
beautiful though. Like America is so yeah, like they just I don't know. They talk a different Spanish, bro. Trying to talk to them in Spanish, it makes you feel like you're a fucking beginner and you're just now learning.
Yeah, yeah. We have different Spanishes in Mexico too, or even in Cali. We have different ways of speaking Spanish. You got some Spanglish as well. You speak Spanish though too.
Kinda.
Más o menos, un poquito. Okay. Um, so you don't know another language besides English, though, right? You're trying to learn a little Germanic. You're trying to learn a little Spanish, but you don't know another language. Is that correct?
I truly want to learn Cuban Spanish. That's the only Spanish I truly want to learn.
Oh, I got you.
Cuban.
Yeah. I want to go to Cuba. Cuba sounds good. My friends all got to go. They left me hanging. I actually went back to Mexico instead of
What
Cuba,
you
but
think about Dominican Spanish as a Afro Mexican advice? A lot of people
uh
say Dominican Spanish is hard.
Dominican Spanish. I mean, the only Dominicans I've met are through this app, and they're pretty cool. They're pretty dope. The ones that not the ones that say me no black either. The ones that are proud. But no, I haven't met the whole diaspora of Dominicans that speak Spanish. So I still got to
You can
talk to a.
use
Yeah.
But like,
No, I
but
can't.
no, sorry.
They can
dialect.
talk a little faster. They do talk a little faster. They have different sayings. I think if I just ask them to break it down and stuff like that, they're more willing to do so. But I think I can understand it more than some other Spanishes for sure.
But
You
like,
know.
Like, how
don't
do y'all say?
Dominicans eat their
Like, how do y'all
asses?
say brother in Spanish where you come from? Because
Hold
I
on,
feel like we
Joaquin.
have it
I
different.
got
I
you.
apologize. I
I got you,
apologize.
Joaquin. I'll let you dive into this. What was that, sister?
I'm sorry, because how do y'all say brother in Scott? I feel like we got it different in DR. How do y'all say? Because I feel like we shorten our words.
And we
So, like,
say
for example,
hermano, hermanito. ¿Cómo podemos decir? Bro. We say bro with the accent. ¿Qué más hicimos? Ahorita, I don't know. Hermanito, hermano. I mean, that's the most like legit standard hermano, but I know there's other ways of saying it without saying that.
Compa.
But let's see, Joaquin. Like Joaquin, can you introduce yourself with your race, your ethnicity, where you're from, and you can dive
Um,
into the conversation.
sure. I'm 21. I'm from New York. I'm white, I guess. My mom's from Chile. My dad's from Portugal.
Okay, Portuguese be that's a different dialect all completely. But go ahead, you
Yeah.
can dive in on the convo.
No, like I know Spanish because my mom's from Chile. So my Spanish, it's not the best, but like I could get by.
Chileno.
Sí, pues, claro.
Awesome, bro. What do you think about
Yeah.
Dominican Spanish and Flordarian Spanish?
Like Cubans and shit. I don't know. Like they
Or
freaking eat
yeah,
their asses a
Flordarian
lot. Like
Cuban.
they eat their asses. Like you say "ello" a lot. Like like we say like "ellos," they say "ello."
Good evening.
That's what I hear. I see them like they don't pronounce the S a lot.
Hey man.
I hear you, man.
oh,
Hey
I'm
man.
I'm learning. we got some other two. Is there anything else you want to say, Joaquin? I know we got off subject. We're talking about Spanish speaking people,
Yes, I would like to
Hispanics all across the globe. If you want to speak on this right now, that's what we're talking about. And
Nah, I
if you
looked
know
up.
any
It'll be
Spanish,
like
and if you know any Spanish yourself, that's what we're saying. Okay, go ahead, Joaquin. Joaquin, you can land your point. Then I'll go to Franklin. Then I'll go to German.
no.
Then I'll go to German.
I guess I looked up people talk on the panel.
We should all be speaking German right now.
I'm saying, gang, like, what the fuck, gang, like, bro, niggas talking in Spanish and shit. Like, that shit really pissed me off, gang. We need to be speaking German.
Like
You got one German fan.
I hope the U.S. and Iran war taught us a very valuable lesson that Hitler was right.
I'm trying to speak Persian, gang.
Can you not? I say I gotta. See, that's the only reason why I don't. That's the only reason why I don't like Germany. But I can understand the culture and it's something else. But outside of that little mustache man, I can understand. But anything else? What's up, German? What do you want to say? What do you want to say, German?
Hey, bro. The 14th Amendment don't mean nothing, gang. They not talking about it. They talking about
what they talking about?
They talking about fucking Africans and shit.
What they talk about, man?
Can I ask why I was removed?
Because you said you guys say little mustache man, okay? Don't say that.
When I said Hitler?
Wait a second, bro.
Oh, here we go.
I didn't know. I'm sorry.
Nigga want to act dumb now. Okay, you about to get dropped. Okay, go ahead, man. Give me your German. Give me your race, your ethnicity, where you're from.
My what? What'd you say?
Give me your race, your ethnicity, and where you're from, and then you can talk.
Drop me again, motherfucker.
Yeah, bro. I'm from Alabama. I'm black, and my ethnicity.
Motherfucker!
Gang.
I'm sorry. I'm crashing out. I'm sorry.
Just go German. He's a lento.
Oh my God! Is there a woman?
The power in his voice, crazy.
I'm black, and my ethnicity is fucking Alabama. I don't know.
Alabamish.
Brother said Alabama. All right, brother. Go ahead. You were saying your thought about the 14th Amendment and how it's for Africans. How is the 14th Amendment for it? You mean African Americans?
No, bro. No. African American, that's not even really like a good representation of Americans, of black Americans, feel me? Like, cause like, feel me? Like, look, cause when they made that, them niggas back then, they was still like African, right? They wasn't like me. They wasn't like, they wasn't like you. So that's when they was talking about Africans. So we not African no more. We really like, we've been here for generations and shit. Like we've been here for like at least, I don't know, like 20 years. We've been here for at least 20 years after that. So we not really African no more. So they not talking about it. They talking about Africans. So like any African nigga who come over here, they talking about him. They not talking about like me and you. Feel me?
It's not 20 years.
You said what?
It's not 20 years. It's like probably over 100.
That exactly, bro. That makes it even like right.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, bro. So like, if we really thinking about it, they really not talking about us. They talking about fucking I don't know, the niggas from Timbuktu.
German. We got. Let me say something to you, German. We still got brothers and sisters that call themselves African American. That they still want to be called that. They don't want to be called no FBA or even Black American. To tell you the truth, man. There's only for them. There's African American. They still have an affinity to Africa. You still have some that are half Black Americans, half Africans. You still got a lot of those families, right? So, but right now the 14th Amendment, they're looking to displace people. They don't want kids. They don't want the children of immigrants to have rights here. They don't want the born rights. They don't want the birthright given here in America. So that's why Donald Trump is revisiting the 14th Amendment, so the Supreme Court justices can look at it and redefine it. But they're kind of giving them pushback and saying this is a law that has always been here. Obviously, there are people that take advantage of this by having kids here when they don't really have what's called like allegiance to America, you know. But that's a whole nother convo. But
I mean, shit, bro, that finna take my citizenship away.
it's not though. It's not.
I'm straight then.
They,
Like we all
they
straight then. Feel me?
right,
Like
German,
the
but
black people, we cool.
but this, by them taking this away from other people, I don't think they're gonna give you something from it. And if you think they're not gonna cut off other programs for black people in America, I was just showing Peace how these Republicans are gonna start stripping so many programs away from the black communities, regardless if they do this or not. So
From the black
it's
community,
just a
they
tough
love black people,
predicament, but
bro.
we
They
got a
love
lot
black
of
people.
people being who
The
white people
government,
love black people.
yeah,
The
the
government,
government, they
who's the
love white.
government?
They love black people.
Donald Trump Donald Trump is in charge of the government right now, man.
Yeah, bro. Donald
He's
Trump.
slow. I'm
Donald Trump
sorry.
love black people, gang. He had he said, bro, what did he say, bro? He said that he had like a black friend.
Like, didn't he like freaking donate to like some like blacks like call like I think Howard University? I could be
I'm
wrong, but
saying,
Yeah,
but
his
he might be
hotel.
our biggest ally behind
I could be
Abraham
wrong. I
Lincoln.
don't
Biggest
know, but
ally.
that's what he
Yeah,
said.
Y'all
bro.
do know
He
his
might be
hotel back in the
Oh wow.
Might
back
be
in the
behind.
day. You do know you do know he got sued because back in the day he refused to give was it rooms at his hotel to black people? That's your biggest ally.
It's the opposite actually. I
He wasn't
hear me
giving
out.
rooms to black people.
Nah, hear me out. I don't like Donald Trump, but
Okay.
guess it's,
It was
I
the
don't like
law.
why
That was
either.
like
Hear me out.
1922.
No, hear me out. I don't like Trump. He's like I think he's an asshole, but like I don't like saying lies and shit. He actually was the one who actually allowed Jews and black people to come to his like Mar-a-Lago. He actually was one of the people who actually let them in, and
Right?
like all of his friends were mad.
What
Like
did he
I hate that
say?
guy. Don't get me wrong. I hate that guy, but
Joaquin,
like
you know what happened to Mar-a-Lago though, bro?
I don't know what happened. I know it was like
That's
Epstein and
good.
shit, but hear me out. I don't like lie. Like the fact he did do that. He actually let them in, like Jews and black people in. And I don't like the guy, but it
Y'all
is
love
a
y'all
fact.
oppressors so
Y'all
much.
gonna say small hat.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm
Donald
not gonna
Trump.
lie about it.
Donald Trump. Donald Trump. He said he had black friends, bro. And on top of that,
That's what white people be saying though, Jamal, come on, man. Just because they
bro,
say they got some black friends,
you
Y'all
mean
love
they?
that don't
y'all
mean shit.
oppressors. Y'all have some syndrome. Y'all need to wake up. These white people don't like y'all.
Donald Trump drank Sunjoy from Chick-fil-A. Who? I only seen black people get that.
No,
Think
to,
about
no. To
it.
be
You
fair, no,
either
hear me out. Back in the day, he actually, I guess everybody liked him. Like everybody loved him because he was always like in the rap videos and everything, in the movies. Like a lot of people liked him back in the day. Like
Yeah,
that
he
is a
was in the
fact.
he was in the
I
movie
don't
industry.
know.
That man.
Yeah, you know, like
I
he
don't
was
know
actually
if y'all trolling. Are
no,
y'all
but it's a
trolling or
fact.
y'all so
But
for
tell
it?
me,
I'm being
hear me. I
All
don't
right,
like
serious.
the
all right.
guy.
Either
Like you want me to
way,
lie about it? I'm not gonna lie.
Jermaine, Joaquin, listen to me. He could have been like friends with a lot of black athletes, a lot of celebrities because of his celebrity status. You know, he used to do that "You Fired" show, right? And he was a big businessman, and maybe he had some slip ups with like all the shit he was running. You had the Park Five incident as well, but outside of that, he was good in the mainstream, right? But it wasn't until he was the president, you know, in
Yeah, exactly.
2018, until all this other shit comes about, and you got to see him with like new power, and him gimme like this. He kept that same business mindset in politics and in government, and it didn't work out so well, you know. But what I'm saying is he's pitting people against each other. You know, whether you see yourself aligning to him is one thing, but if you don't see the um the divide and conquer tactics that he uses to put minorities against each other, then you can't see what we're talking about, you know.
Yeah, but to be fair, that's every part. Even the Democrats do that shit. Like I hate him out. It sounds like I fucking love Donald Trump. I don't like the guy, but like like both parties do that. Like they make they try to put us I guess against each other. Like that's what they do. Both parties. Like I'm not gonna say one party does it. Like it's both party. Even the Democrats do that shit. Like I ain't gonna let them like go off like free and shit. They know Saints.
Wait,
Yeah,
hold on, guys.
I'm not for either party, Joaquin, but I
Yeah, no,
despise
but like
both.
like
What's up,
you were
Jermaine?
talking about like you were talking about the Republicans mainly. So I don't know what you meant, but like fucking Democrat, they were like they're kind of
Because they're
sick. I
the
don't
ones
lie.
in office. They're the ones in office, Joaquin. That's why I'm talking about them.
Now they are, yeah.
Bruh, wait, hold on. Can I turn my camera on? Let me show. Oh, I can't even do it. Damn, bro.
Yeah, but like I don't get how people nobody was getting like mad when like the Democrats were in office. Like, yo, they did some crazy shit.
You don't remember when all the black people was
Everybody
praying
was
over
getting
Donald
mad.
Trump?
No, they did some, huh?
That's why they went Republican, because everybody was mad. They voted Republican. So it was pretty obvious, you know.
Guess what? I ain't mad about that. The thing is, the thing about Democrats the most, dude. Nowadays, even TikTok, they try like they try to demonize people who voted for Trump. Okay, he voted for him. Sorry about that. They did it, but guess what? Like, don't try like going against them. Try like at least work with them. You know what I'm saying?
You mean with people that voted for them or whatever?
Yeah, for Trump. Before it's like saying people who vote for Kamala. Do you vote for genocide if you vote for Kamala?
No, exactly. No, I'm not here to like demonize people that voted
I get
for
what you're
him.
saying.
You know, I'm here like if people still follow his rhetoric like to this day, like people can um can regret their decision and no one's gonna make, and I don't need to hear you say like you're not for Trump anymore. But if I don't know, if I hear you just still like repeat some of his rhetoric, or if there's a policy that obviously went sour, that went south, and you still support him, whether it went good or bad, that's where I can give some pushback, you know. But other than that, I really don't care about politics. I just care. This prompt is about this 14th Amendment and this and how FBAs are riding this shit to the to whatever that white ass saying is till
To
the
be fair,
horses
like
die, whatever, and then have Trump over here just like as a little cheerleader. But I was
with
just showing how all the funding is going to go out of black communities. I might have to replay that again so I have to refresh
I
in your
don't know.
mind.
Yeah, I
But
heard
anyway,
that, but I don't know.
Man,
Yeah,
let me say this real quick, man. I ain't meant to.
hold on, let me
Oh, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
uh, five fold.
Yeah, yeah.
Give me your
So,
race, your ethnicity, where you from, and then
and
go ahead. You can speak on the prompt.
my race is African American, but my lineage is Liberian. Why I say that is because I got two brothers fought for this damn country and they lost their life. And you can tell me this is not my country.
I
Now you
got
gotta
you.
go get
I
my
got you,
brother.
Cam.
Okay.
I got you. Well, welcome to the panel, my brother. Go ahead. You can respond to anything we said, or you can speak on the prompt. It's up to you.
No, I was
Welcome to the panel.
responding to what have the Republican done for us? That's what I want to know.
like historically
What
or like
just
now.
just just go straight at it. Give me something.
I guess ending slavery
A new
in
flavor.
the USA. Ending slavery, yeah.
A new flavor?
Ending slavery.
No,
I
but there
guess
was
we're
that's when there was the good Republican. But then it switched
okay.
to the
Going
other
to
side.
1900s. Fine, let's go 1900s. They were against Jim Crow.
Oh my God. So everybody hate Democrat because of what?
What? Like
Like why people hate Democrat?
like now?
Yeah, like now.
Okay. I guess my opinion. I think because they go too hard in rhetoric. Like now, like they're not really using that much logic anymore. I guess they're kind of. I don't say be
Logic,
like. Like
rhetoric.
hear me out. Like I guess really up for like trans shit. Like people who are in trans, they want to play in men's sports, women's sports, that shit. Like and they're really up for abortion. Like they want people like if they're like say a woman who's like 9 months pregnant, abortion's okay for them. What else is there? Let me
No, I
think.
don't think they say that though, man. That's another
No,
lie.
they do.
This says
In some
okay.
states. Huh? Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
This is smart
I would
shit.
just say is man, gas prices high. Everything's kind of high, going out of
Mhm.
whack right now. And you guys still saying like it's the Democrat fault.
I can hear people
Nah,
saying, "Oh, Obama." People still bringing Obama up. That dude been president like decades ago, and they still bring him up.
yeah.
Obama did nothing for this country. I'm like, what? Like, come
Oh,
on,
he
man.
didn't. Like honestly, he didn't do much. Like to be honest, like he was mostly for the gays and shit. Like, don't think he really did much. It's like I guess the war in Afghanistan, the fucking I guess Obamacare that was went horribly for people. There's probably some more stuff I didn't know about, but like that's the main things.
It's the one my brother in the fight. It's not again. They went to Iraq. We're on Bush, and I lost two
Mm-hmm.
brothers in that stupid ass war. The
Yeah,
last thing I say, I gotta take care of my moms. But then I got on here and motherfucker talking about, oh man, this ain't your country, man. What?
that's stupid.
Yeah, man, I hear
And
you
not
on
one
that.
of these motherfuckers go out there and do anything, man.
Man,
Yeah,
hold on, Wiley. You really muffled, man. No one can hear you. But
Yeah, I can't hear
I
him
will
either.
I do want to let you chime in. I'm gonna mute you real quick. Go ahead and fix your mic real quick. 5-4, I followed you, man, because I think we really do need some more African Americans to speak about issues like that, like especially your
No, I
brothers,
can't
people.
look. I'll be 100. I can't do it because it's very touchy. I just jump on this thing, sometimes
I
express
hear you.
myself. And I
It's
can't do
true.
it. I'm just be 100 with you.
I
You know.
got you. But I do appreciate you for even saying that, because a lot of people don't know how much people on either side have fought for all the things that like when we say WAR, when we say for our rights and all that, they don't understand that even with whatever side you pick, I mean, we still out here sacrificing ourselves for this country, and to
Right.
get some shit on either side, and to harp on it, to say it's like kind of a disgrace to
Yeah.
what one's family has already put down, for this country. So I commend you for that, man, and thank you for your family service.
Man,
Can you
definitely,
guys hear
man.
me better now?
Let's get that clear. I didn't say I was. I said I lost two brothers. Before cats start coming to my panel,
No,
all the niggas.
I said your family
Didn't say
service. I said your family
yeah,
service,
yeah,
my
you
brother.
did. Just
Yeah.
want to get that clear out there, man. You know. Hey, appreciate you having me, man. I gotta run real quick.
All right, I followed you, brother. Follow me back.
For
All
sure.
right.
I think I do. I do.
Okay. Awesome, Fofo. All right, brother. All right, we got Wiley. Wiley, what's good? I hope you fix your mic.
I think it's fixed now.
Oh, okay. Awesome. I can hear you now. What's going on, brother? What's going on?
What do you
Can I
mean?
get you? No, you good. Can I get you to introduce yourself with your race, your ethnicity, where you're from?
Yeah, I'm from Minnesota, black and Somali.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I got a phone call. Somali from Minnesota. Okay, welcome to the panel, brother. Salamu alaikum. If you have any thoughts on the prompt, go ahead, brother.
What do you mean by 14th Amendment? Think before you clap. Can you?
How they're revisiting the 14th Amendment right now and trying to see how it applies. They don't want it to apply to black immigrants, Mexicans, anybody that's so-called illegal to come here and have a baby, because they think this is, but there's a law, there's an amendment that says that anyone born here is automatically a U.S. citizen. So Donald Trump wanted to revisit this amendment and have it questioned, have it redefined for his purposes of kicking out these anchor babies, as they say, and getting these illegal immigrants out of here, them and their children. So this is the rhetoric we say. So a lot of black Americans or a lot of FBAs want to harp on this and call us first generation, second generation Americans as anchor babies, and they think by redefining the 14th Amendment that they're going to kick us out. But if this law goes into effect, where they redefine the 14th Amendment, it's not going to, everybody that has citizenship now will remain having citizenship. It's only from then moving forward. Like, so if any other new kids come in here that don't have one American parent, they can't be American citizens if they were born here. So that's if it goes through. They're still up. There's a lot of pushback by the Supreme Court justices, and it looks like they're gonna hold. They're not gonna go for what Donald Trump wants, but just in case he does go for, just in case they do go for it, it
Nigger.
won't. It won't go retro. It won't retroactively go back to all the kids that have already been born here. I have to let these FBAs know that because they're over here talking a lot of shit and don't even know how the law fucking works. So that's what we're talking about, man. If you want to speak on it, and then we'll let Bub speak on it. Go ahead, bro.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. So yeah, I mean, again, I've been seeing a lot of FBAs pop up on more of a like a um like a us versus them mentality. You know what I mean? Even though colonization happened in Africa, right? Like I get FBAs have been, maybe even Native Americans, right? Native Americans just had it just as they were completely annihilated, right? Like they were destroyed when the Native Americans came here from a Native American perspective. So and so I don't know. I Trump is doing exactly what he was supposed to do from a white supremacist and white what is that white uh Christian evangel I forgot what
Yeah,
that.
white nationalists. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's doing exactly what he's supposed to do when it comes to
hmm
targeting and alienating certain races, making sure that there's a level of superiority, and that he can't do it through amendment, right? Because we just have too much. We've actually overdosed on progressive values to the point that amendments no longer can appeal to him, nor his views, nor his supporters, like the minimal base supporters. So that's why he has to try to do an executive order. And he has to plead to the Supreme Court. I mean, the Supreme Court, one thing they say, I don't know if you paid listen to it. I listened to it. And again, I get scared of the conservatives a little bit because it's like watching what are they going to fold on? What are they? Because you've never seen a progressive leftist Supreme Court in the panel of judges. You've never seen that in the Supreme Court right now. They're majority conservatives, and there's like a gut wrench feeling that they're going to fold, right? Like you'll hear indications of it. No, they just said, hey, one of the responses from the lawyer was, or the I think that I don't know what the Solicitor General I think it was for his references for the defender or the department side or the government side. He told him, he's like, well, this is a new world. He's like, well, this is a new world, but this is the same constitution. And right there, I think that pretty much explained the ruling to me that they're not. I mean, they're gonna not rule in his favor, at least from a 6-3 perspective. That's what I'm hoping for. But I mean, it's all
Great.
backpedaled by the minority view of race. That's the only difference. And FBA's, again, I've heard of first generation born black or the people that have been native to America who were black, but then you have people who are native to America who are Native Americans.
Exactly.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's like you don't see them going up to other people who have been colonized and being brought to America by way means of force because their homes have been completely destroyed, i.e., Cuba, anywhere in Africa, you can name it, right? You don't see them as saying the Native Americans get out of our land and give us back what we
Where
owe.
we're more American than you are.
Right? It's such a stupid ideology. You can come up to me and say, my people were here first. Let's try and have. I want to let's share the land, but let's prioritize our people a little bit more. That's fair. I think there's some fair. I understand the
There's
first
some fair
generation.
grievances. Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
but
trying to
they're not
like.
looking at it like that. They're looking at it as far as superiority, like I'm more of a superiority complex, just like the um white nationalists, right? But really, who's in power? That's why I feel bad because I'm like, you want that level of superiority complex, but you're not in power. But also, why would you even want that? Look how evil they are, you know? There's like a level of
Right.
contradiction.
And bro, that's exactly what I say to these FBAs that, if you were talking your shit, maybe, if you were talking your shit and popping your chest and all this, and maybe you could have done that if you were actually running shit in America, but you're not. You think you run the show, you're not the gatekeepers, Yes, you move the culture. Yes, you influence this and that. But you don't, yes, you march for the 14th Amendment, but again, you're not legislating shit. You're not the one that holds the pen and makes the legislation pass this shit. You're not the one that lets people come into the country or lets them leave out to the country. You're not the people bringing them in, all right? So you're not the gatekeepers. You don't have money. Your face is not on the currency. It's your former slave master's face on the currency. These aren't your borders. This is their borders, right? So it's like that's why when you guys talk a big shit, you gotta be running shit, And I don't
Right.
mean that to be a dick completely, but I mean like just look at the hierarchy. You're not at the top. You're not at the top.
Right.
So you made a lot of good points, my brother. How old are you, brother?
I'm 30.
You're 30. Okay. All right. I thought you were maybe a little younger, but no. Also, I'm 38. I'm not that much older. I mean, I had almost a whole decade. No, I'm 39. My birthday was yesterday. 39 years old.
Yeah. I mean,
Fucking,
I get
go
their
ahead.
grievance, but like, I just don't think that going after immigrations and then tell them to go back to their homeland is a necessary conversation, because in fact I think you would need more to go against these type of individuals that have colonized and have had power for such a long time. I mean, we're in our generation now and they still have power. You have a convicted felon in office. Tell me, I'll wait. Let's wait. Let's get someone who's black and has a convicted felony record, and let's have him be president. I'll wait when that happens. Tell me when that happens. Fuck it. Even have them in any type of government, and I'm assuming any government position will have. And you can't have felony records, right? And so
Oh
it's
yeah.
like
And we'll wait. We'll wait.
that's what I'm saying. That's like I like so you want to alienate. You want to say we're force born generation. The Native Americans don't even do this because they know. The Native Americans don't even talk about this because they know. Right? They ally with who? Anyone who has opposing views against those who are evil. It's that simple. And we know who are the evil ones in this case, right? Right now, who's empowering regime? That's why I just don't. I think it's not conducive to the conversation of like, okay, sorry if you're a firstborn generation and you have to share a pot of the gold. Oh my God. Oh wow. You want more of it. Oh my God, you can't get more of it. Sorry, because you have other people now that are part of your allies. So, oh, sorry, you have to share. And so I get confused sometimes. I mean, if they were to tell me I'm going to take more of that split because our family generations didn't get it in the beginning, I'd be like, I understand, but your first generation, your second generation, your third, fourth generation weren't able to be successful to take over and to have an actual power implementation. Now, since immigration came into play, now since colonization occurred and people came in here and helped you take over, you're gonna tell them that they can't have the same taste of the bread, same taste of the food the cuisine that's been made based off the success.
We can't breathe the same air, brother. That's what
Right.
they say.
Right, and they, by the way, they've been colonized. This is not their family's been stripped of their wealth. Their family's been taken from their property. I mean, America, I don't know, most of the rich people in Africa are white people because they have land. Right? The large amount of land owners in Africa are white people. That's what they're trying.
Afrikaners, the ones that we gave asylum to, too, the ones that we
That came
claimed they were victims.
first class trip, by the way. 50 of them, first class trip to America. All, by the way, we're all paying, as taxpayers, we're all paying for their shit right now.
What a disservice.
So that's why I say it's more of like a, you know, just a shadowy distraction to not also go at the root, because no matter what, you can't do it by yourself. That's a fact, right? Now you have immigrants. You want to isolate them even further, and then now you say, "I don't. We deserve everything. You're not a part of this." But victims our entire lives. And then you say, you don't get any piece of the pie, even if you join us. You shut up in the corner.
Yeah. Again, the people in the comments, there was no Somalis. Again, he's not saying he's Native American, and we're not saying that the Somalians are the ones that had created the amendment for. You guys are ridiculous. You guys are probably late to this conversation. You aren't Native American. He never said he was. 5,000 are in America now. Okay. Anyways, I just caught up with the comments there, but it is wildly, with the Somali community in Minnesota and how they love to harp on the goddamn Minnesota thing, and it just shows you. It's kind of like their rhetoric right now with the 14th Amendment, how they're showing all these different cases about the people frauding the American government by having. Oh, I got a restriction, bro. I got a restriction. Oh my God, they already restricted me. What did I do? What did I say? Anyways, they come up with a lot of disinformation about fraud, like especially around these times that they're really harping in on stuff like that, like with the now they're saying fraud on the 14th Amendment. It just reminds me about all the fraud that happened in Minnesota that they claim allegedly happened, even though we know it's tied to white people that started the fraud, and all the frauding that happens in all the Medicare and all that by white people, like things that it's always a distraction. It's always a distraction, wildly, and it's to take attention away from them and them doing it. So this is how they have us distracted. And like you said, what else did we expect from these people to do? I mean, they run this course like they've always run this playbook, And it's pretty, like, if people don't see this happening, that they don't see this coming, and how we're pitted against one another, it's really sad, right now, especially at these times.
The Somali fraud that happened in Minnesota was a majority Somali people, but they don't know the kingpin was a white lady.
And that's what I meant. That's what I meant to say. That one white lady. I remember them coming down, who orchestrated the whole goddamn thing, And obviously, she found a community to get away with that with. Wherever she would have landed, she would have did her best to do that at, I think she just found the most marginalized communities to do it in, and a community that had their shit together, because in reality, they didn't need nothing. And not all Somalis do that. A lot of them get it out the mud. They create their own communities. That's why they're so financially successful. They're not successful because of fraud,
It was 77 Somali people that got caught with that incident out of 100,000 that have. By the way, 90% of those 100,000 individuals are citizens, and all of them mostly have legal status. But
exactly.
7 of them have been spoken. They've been generalized. Every Somali is a fraudster now, dude. I have a property, and I'm trying to just build a deck. I see the bill on that deck. I look out. I'm like, dang. If I build this expensive ass deck, people are gonna think.
What will they say? What will they say about me?
I got a nice, because I'm gonna be honest with you. No matter what I do, and I work in IT. No matter what I do, no matter what I provide to people, if I say I do this certain thing, my destiny and who I am as a person has been decided
through that stereotype. Through that goddamn stereotype.
I have. That's why I don't drive a really nice car. By the way, I drive a really. I mean, my car's pretty okay. It's just a Kia Sorento 2020, but it's like compared to like the guy that was driving. I mean, he got caught with a home care fraud with millions of dollars. It's very stupid. But he was driving a freaking BMW 2024. I mean, super clean. Never drive that car. And I mean, it's a stretch for me to even own a property at this point because, like, oh man, you know, did you make your down payment with a Medicare fraud or home care fraud? Which one do you choose your options?
Yeah, man, keep your head up, bro. Don't let that. I mean, that's what they do to us black folks. You know, whether we just got here or we've always been here. You know that. I mean, it's just. It's your. It's. I guess it's the. It's just the run of the miller kind of thing. But don't ever let that hold you back, bro. We love our Somalis. We support our Somalians. I'm East African myself, so I know we next on the chopping block. I'm half Eritrean, half Mexican, so you know I got it. I got it both on both. I got it bad on both ends.
Bro, they're going after everyone. I mean, they're going after Cubans. They're going after, what was the recent 500,000 that came in through a small town. They worked on at like a factory. I think it was like 500,000, 300,000. I don't know what it was. It was a certain race or
Oh, the
certain.
Asians. It was those Asians, right? That they called on.
No, they were black. They were certain
Oh, they
ethnicity.
were black. Mm.
Yeah, they were certain ethnicity though. Fuck, I forgot the. He literally
What do
went
we
to.
got? The Haitians. We got the Haitians. The
It was
Dominican. Not the Dominican.
Haitian.
It,
Yes.
it was the Haitians.
Yeah. There was a certain community that was community Haitians that got legally work permits to work in a certain community. They're getting stripped of their legal status. They're gonna have to go back to Haiti. Um, is it Haiti? I don't know where they're originally from,
Oh,
but
Haiti. Haiti.
Haiti.
Wow.
Thank
Wow.
you.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to go back to Haiti. Um, and that's because of their. I mean, so it's not just. That's why I'm not like like. I mean, it does impact in the long run. I'm a lot older now, but I'm not really tripping. This guy is going after everyone, whether Haiti, Somali. I mean, he's going after blacks. He's going after everyone, dude.
Yeah. Who's next? Who is next? You know.
Even his own people. I mean, he had ICE unalive two white people. I didn't think that was possible.
Yep. Yep. Even some black Americans now have been unalived by ICE. So
Like
ICE will
there was
be
a
the new slave catchers,
dude.
and we'll see how it will evolve. You know, from that to now they're heading to the airports. You know,
They're trying to play.
they're trying to even send them to Iran now. You know.
Dude, they're going in communities strapped up as paramilitary with actual military grade weapons. I can't, and that's conservatives for you right there. You know, limit
Yeah.
with paramilitary troops.
There's their budget for the goddamn their budget for ICE and DHS was bigger than some nations' budget for their military spending. I think there were 14 on the military budgets, like the money they spent, but for them only for ICE they were on number 14th ranked, right next to Canada for the most money spent on military. But for America it was simply for ICE. Can you imagine that?
I can, bro. Especially with this guy. I mean, he went back and forth with this whole like deployment with ICE and just saying like, let's do a mass deportation. No, wait, let's not do mass deportation. Wait, let's do it. You know, he has to have that money on a budget to try and do mass deportation. In reality, I mean, it's not even probably enough. If it was truly 20, 30 million illegal immigrants, which I don't think is even true. So. All right, bro. I'm gonna drop. I'm gonna go talking to you.